C. Cowboys alongside me then. Tyler Styer to get us underway. What sort of chance has he got of pulling off an upset here, Cole?
A slim one? No, I'm just joking.
As slim as he is.
I think at the start of the match, he's going to be key for Tyler Styer. Very good player, good cueist, works very hard at his game, does everything that you should do, doesn't do things that you shouldn't do, like go out and party and be a naughty boy, does everything right, ticks all the boxes. But SVB, well, he's in a different category.
I think you're absolutely right. Getting a good start to the match important for him, so he'll be disappointed that he's wasted winning the lag by coming up with a dry break straight off the bat. It's actually the 8th dry break there's been on table 1 today.
And this is the whole purpose of the players voting this break rule change in. And obviously the promoters Matchroom Pool taking it on board, because what we're seeing now is we're just not seeing break and runs. That becomes a bit boring. We like a break and run, don't get me wrong, but we want to see this, we want to see the push. So Shane played the push because you're allowed after the break. The very next shot after the break, you can play a push. Tyler doesn't fancy it. What's Shane got in mind? Is he going to outsmart him? And the push is a wonderful thing in the game of pool. You could see the plan of attack from Shane, but just the one ball kissing this 6 ball. Watch it comes around 2 rails. If it misses the 6, he's got the hook. That little flick means that Tyler Styer has got an opportunity. Needs it to slow down, and he's left the window. SVB can cut this one in the bottom left. Not easy, but it's a chance.
12 players through from the winners' qualification round already. We may have a few more winners in the coming minutes. Max Lechner and Eklund Kachi both on the hill in their matches.
Played that smart. If you're wondering why he didn't play it softer to land on the 2 in the top left, that's probably because he prefers to hit that shot with a little bit more authority. So if he was to roll that a little softer, in his mind he's probably thinking, I'm going to miss the ball. So that's why he sacrificed guaranteed position to stay at the table.
In 2016 was the last time he won it. Equaling Earl Strickland's record of 5 US Open titles. He's had 3 attempts since then to break the record. Hasn't really been that close. Went out at the last 16 stage last year against Lucius Yap, who went on to the final.
Good bank shot, a little unlucky to hook himself on this red 3. Here's another look. is a lot to think about here. Doesn't look like there's any kind of rail to kick. I think he can just see the top side of the 3. I wonder if he can get the cue ball in behind the 7. He'd have to travel the 3 back across. He's under it, this, so he could see more of that 3 than I thought. So Tyler's back at the table, and straight away, Michael, because of this break, we're seeing a few visits here in the opening rack as well.
All helps to create a bit of tension. Tyler Styer, born New Year's Day 1995, so 27 years of age, from Wisconsin.
Tyler's turn for a bank, but he misses it, so it's 1-0 to SVB in bank shots. That's an attacking strategy there. He had a good safety opportunity there. Could have got the cue ball in behind the 6 and the 3 near the 8. So he's decided to attack the table early on in this match.
So 1-0 and bank shots, as you say. And very good chance now for Van Boening to make it the same. And the one stat that really counts. As I said, although it's 6 years, almost to the day, since he won that record equaling 5th US Open, he's only had 3 attempts to break the record since then, because of partly a date change and partly because we lost a year due to COVID. Last 16 last year against Yap, as I was saying. The year before that was the COVID year. So prior to that, 2019 in Las Vegas, also beaten in the last 16 by Wu Cha-Ching, who, like Yap, went on to the final. It was a different format, the previous staging before that, the last year in Virginia, 2017. But it was effectively the same outcome then. It was a 9th place finish, which is also what the last 16 placing is. And he lost then to a young Joshua Filler. So in 3 attempts to get that tie-breaking, new record-setting 6th US Open title, he's not really been as close as you might have expected him to be on at least one of those occasions. And this, his last chance to get that elusive half dozen before he turns 40.
Along with Joshua Filler and Jason Shaw, Shane comes under that bracket of phenomenal front runners. As soon as they start clocking these racks up, they can easily just blow you off the table in no time.
Yeah, and they're both extremely dangerous coming from behind as well. So Tyler Styer will be frustrated with that. Had the dry break, had an opportunity to put some early pressure on Van Boening after that, but didn't take it, left the chance. And Shane Van Boening leads Tyler Styer 1-0. So I was telling you about a couple of big names on the hill. Eklund Kachi leading Duong Kwok Hwang 8-7. Max Lechner of Austria 8-6 up against Daniel Guttenberger. Close finish between Met Vergara and Abdullah Al Yusuf. That one is 7-all. Alex Pagalayan 6-5 up on Ralph Souquet in the clash of the old troopers. Alban Ocean hasn't won this title before. Won most of the other big events in recent years. He's got a 2-0 lead over Si Chia Chen. And the Lucius Yap, runner-up last year, 4-1 in front of Mickey Kraus. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who's having the year of his life, is a 3-0 lead over Yanni Uski. Thomas Kaplan, 5-1 up on Chris Reinhold. Back to table 1.
SVB has struggled a little bit with the break since we changed it, which is unusual to say. Where's the cue ball? Now he hit them very hard. Did he make the wing ball on the break? It's hard to see. Here's another look. Was it the 8 ball straight in? It was. That break is actually on. You think the wing ball in the corner is not really on, but you have to really spin the cue ball. And when attempting that, it's easy to miss cue because you've got to juice it up that much. So he's playing safe here. Just roll the cue ball off the rail. Object ball must hit the rail. So in this case, the one ball did. Containing safety.
Styer was a 9-2 winner over Dino Nair of South Africa in the first round, and then beat his fellow American Lucas Fracasso-Werner 9-5 in his next match. Van Boening had that extraordinary contest to start things off against Joey Tate. And Tate, as I'm sure you've heard by now, inadvertently potted the wrong ball, potting the 5 instead of the 4 at a crucial stage. Van Boening went on to win that 9-7, and then, as I was saying, beat Steyer's wife, Margaret Fefilova, who played really well against him, 9-5. And there she is. Her involvement has now ended. She did beat Dalibor Nicolan on the one-loss side, and that was yesterday evening. This morning, was beaten in a hill-hill finish by Mustafa Alnar of Turkey. So her involvement in the US Open over for this year. At least in a playing sense, she'll now be one of the most interested of spectators.
This is nasty. How do you hit this ball? Any foul results in ball in hand. Put the cue ball wherever you want. You're allowed to do a deliberate foul as well, but in this instance, that's too tricky. You can't really tie the balls up, so he's got to come with something good here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 3 rails, probably 4 rails. He's got to miss the red 3 and then go before the right middle pocket. Let's see what you got. Here we go, before the middle. Oh, Tyler Styer with a beauty to stay in the rack.
I hope Margaret looked up from her phone in time to see that one. Fair to say it will be undoubtedly the greatest year of Shane Van Boning's career if he does win the US Open, having at last landed that long overdue first world title back in April in Milton Keynes. He said in advance of it, it would be the greatest day of his life if he won it. What an incredible 2022 it would be if he could claim the record in his national championship as well.
Holds his hand up because he played the bank shot. The bank shot on these new tables where everything's brand new always troubles the players a little bit.
Why is that, Carl?
Just because when you play at home or in your local club, you know, they don't change the cloth that often. It can be an expensive thing, so pool players are used to practicing on a worn-in table. So you get used to that bounce, that different angle, and when everything's brand new, and it's usually at these big pool tournaments, things just slide that little bit more. You have to allow for that. Michael, how are things going on with Mosconi Cup predictions? Obviously we're approaching the business end of the event where players are exited, so they've no chance of qualifying. Have you been having a little nosy proceedings?
Oh, I don't remember making any predictions.
No, I don't mean predictions, I mean like...
what's the qualifying picture?
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know what I meant.
I always know what you mean, Carl. Well, what we do know is that Shane Van Boening is going to be playing in the Mosconi Cup for the 16th year in a row. Runaway leader of the American standings, so his place long since under lock and key. The other two automatic spots will both be finalised this week. Now, at the moment, Tyler Styer is down in 10th on the American points list. You've got to be in the top 3 come the end of the US Open. But really, it's so tight. A good long run here, and he will definitely claim one of them. Really, any American left in the tournament still has a reasonable chance, providing they can go a long way. Oscar Dominguez and Skylar Woodward holding the other two automatic spots at the moment. So 3 automatic qualifiers on both teams, and then the captains both have 2 picks. One thing that will almost certainly happen at the Mosconi, which starts at the end of next month, is that Shane Van Boening will become the first player ever to play in 100 Mosconi Cup matches. He's played 96 in total across his 15 previous appearances, which is more than anyone.
That's a phenomenal stat. Longevity is right there. You have to say it's a little easier over the last few years to get in that American side, but I feel like until Shane hangs up the cue, he's always going to be in it, and I'm sure he'll play a lot more. It's a good start.
And that's what we were saying in commentary yesterday with Jeremy. By the time he does stop playing, the likelihood is he'll have played in about 25 Mosconi Cups, maybe more. Frustrating for Tyler Styer so far. He's not really had any opportunity to get stuck into this match. And that frustration will only have been added to by the fact that Van Boening, as he acknowledged with the raised hand, had a bit of fortune not to leave him a chance from the missed bank shot. And as you said, Carl, Van Boening, a truly great front runner, and he's out in front at the moment by 2-0. Eklund Kachi has never won this US Open, but he was in the final 5 years ago, and he's through to the single elimination stage after beating Dong Quoc Hoang of Vietnam by 9-7. Max Lechner still on the hill, 8-7 in front against Daniel Guttenberger. Alex Pagulayan 7-5 ahead of Ralph Suke. And Si Chia Chen has broken the duck against Albin Ocean, winning the third rack to close to 2-1. Petri Mäkinen and Tim de Ruyter. Finland versus Netherlands, that's a close one, 5-all at the moment. Such a determined individual, Tyler Styer, very intense. And I wonder, Carl, does he maybe get in his own way a bit because he wants it so much sometimes rather than just letting his talent come to the fore?
I don't know. I think he's got a bit of Niels fire in him. I know Niels is one of his favourite players growing up. Niels is very intense. I think, having watched the opening 2 racks, maybe shot selection could let him down a little bit. There was an instance where it looked like he had an absolute guaranteed safety in the opening rack to put Shane in trouble. He chose to play a bank. It wasn't an obvious easy bank. He missed the bank, he lost the rack. So decision making is often highly underrated, but the top boys, they always seem to make the right decision. I know Darren Appleton was that type of player, Albin Ocean. They always play the right shot, if there is such a thing, but I think there is.
I hope Darren didn't hear you referring to him in the past tense. He's still very much involved and playing Roberto Gomez in this round. But I know what you mean. He's had his heyday.
Yeah, it was more when I used to play with him. Past tense.
Well, even that's not that long ago. You were World Cup partners last year.
Playing the bank shot here doesn't really offer much for Shane, does it? Because the cue ball looks like it's going to run into the 8 off the top rail. So how do you get on that 2? Safety looks tricky as well. Is he trying to play off the left edge thin? If you overhit this, you'll leave a pot. He's trying to miss the 5. Yeah, he's trying to bank it up past that 5 and he's left a pot. At least the cue ball's on the rail. This is tricky for Tyler.
And again, that just adds to the frustration, doesn't it? At last he's got something to go at here, and cue ball's just run next to the rail. So nothing coming easy to him at all right now. Here's his chance to get things up and running. Biggest win of his career in an individual sense, the Kremlin Cup in Moscow back in 2019. Beat David O'Cady in a hill-hill finish to clinch that. His long game is certainly getting a good test, a good workout here at the start of this chance. This will be 3 pots in a row from distance. But only if he makes the pot.
Yeah, it was never going to go in. As soon as you seen where that 3 was going, it was always going to stay over the hole.
In 2007 was his first US Open success, only 24 at the time. Hadn't really got much high-level experience prior to that. Took him 5 years to win it again, but when he did, he won 3 in a row. And then after missing a year in 15, he won it again in 16.
There you could see Shane just finding the centre of the table. Nice angle. He'll spin this round 3-4 rails. 1, 2, off the 3rd. Pros always like to use that 3rd rail. Just means they can put a nice stroke on it.
So this was really the first rack that Styer had a chance to get properly involved in. Good pots on the 1 and the 2. missed the 3 from distance. He's been sitting down ever since. Tyler Styer is a big baseball fan. Can't get out of first base at the moment. Shane van Boening leads 3-0. We're talking about the US Mosconi Cup race. Well, the European race also comes to an end this week. Joshua Filler already in the team. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and Alban Ocean currently occupying the other 2 spots. It's going to take a big effort from someone to overtake them. They're both in action at the moment, but having contrasting fortunes. Sanchez Ruiz coasting along at 5-0 at the moment against Jani Uski. As part of the Finland team, which got to the quarter-finals of the World Cup this year. But Ocean, having led Si Cha Chen 2-0, has now been pegged back to 2 each. It's also level between Met Vergara and Abdullah Al Yusuf, but that one much further on. In fact, it's a hill-hill finish. 8-8 there. Max Lechner also still looking for one more. 8-7 in front of Daniel Guttenberger. Tim de Ruyter is now edged ahead of Petri Mäkinen. And their excellent tussle on table 7. And it's now 6-5 to the Dutchman. Just returning to the American Mosconi Cup race, as I've said, Oscar Dominguez in position going into this week to take one of the automatic spots. He's leading 5-4 against Sanjin Pelovanovic. Skylar Woodward, who's in the other automatic place at the moment, is behind against Moritz Neuhausen, but it's still early stages there, just 2 racks to 1.
Good up-and-coming player, Moritz Neuhausen. We spoke about him a couple of days ago. He's faring well in this year's Open. That's a nice break. Nineball's close. Is it golden?
Oh, how is it not?
Yeah, that looked like it was going to vanish, but it didn't. Somehow, here's another look. Watch how close this 9-ball.
Now, it's a bit of an awkward one, but is the 2-9 on?
Yeah, it's definitely on. It sort of looks like he's got to hit the right-hand side of the 9. If he hits it full, maybe it might double kiss in, but it could stay out. So he's got to be playing this on the right-hand side. I presume he's playing the 2 into it. If he plays the cue ball into it, he may scratch up into the top left. Yep, it's a quick one.
Yep, 2 shots was all it took. And Shane van Boening is disappearing out of sight here. He now leads 4-0. So not much has changed in the scores while that rack was going on. I can tell you, though, that Alex Pagulayan is on the hill now, leading 8-5 against Ralph Souquet. Pagulayan, the champion, 17 years ago now, would you believe? So remember the players who come through this winner's qualification round. That will be the end of their involvement for the day. They'll be back tomorrow for the start of the single elimination stage. And towards the end of today, it's all going to be about deciding the 32 who come through losers qualification, each of whom will be drawn against one of the 32 winners at random later today.
Shane will get the template taken off. In practice, you'd probably just leave it on the table and shoot over it, but there's something about in a match, in a big match, where you just don't like it there. Purple 5 is probably going to have to be a combination onto the green 6. Other than that, yeah, this is a great chance for Shane.
Doing well in all the Matchroom events this year. Semi-finals of the Premier League, about 6 weeks before he won the World Championship at the same venue in Milton Keynes. UK Open, he was just coasting through it. It was really only Skylar Woodward who had given him any sort of close run thing at all until he got to the semis, and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz beat him comfortably, 11-4. Teamed up with Skylar Woodward for the United States at the World Cup of Pool. Got to the semis, lost to Singapore. And of course he was in the final of the European Open in Fulda in August. Albin Ocean beating him in a reversal of the world final outcome.
The start of these matches, Michael, are key for the second favourite.
And the second favourite in this match, Tyler Styer, has just stepped out of his chair for the first time since he missed that 3 in the third rack when he had a chance to close to 2-1 down. But it's only to pick the balls out of the pockets again. That's a break and run from Shane van Boening. He's now leading 5-0. So, update on the other matches, and we've now got 2 Hill finishes going on. Met Vergara and Abdullah Al Yusuf still embroiled in theirs, and it's now gone 8 apiece between Max Lechner and Daniel Guttenberger. The all-Austrian clash on table 24. Alex Pagulayan still looking for one more, 8-6 in front of Ralph Souquet. Jan Uski has broken his duck against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, closing to 5-1. Also 5-1 for Aloysius Yap in his match against Mickey Kraus. Thomas Kaplan closing in on victory, 7-3 in front of Chris Reinhold. Incidentally, the winner of this match will play the winner of that match in the last 32 if they both come through their first match in single elimination tomorrow.
Can't stress about the opening rack where Tyler, I don't blame him for firing at the bank shot. But you kind of feel if they don't go in, this is what can happen. Shane can run away. And that is exactly what Shane's doing.
The one Matchroom event he didn't do well in this year was the World Masters. He was beaten in his first match by Lo Ho Sum. Of course, we've been talking all year about the new Nineball world rankings. The players have been earning points right from the start of the year. And when we get to the end of it, we'll have a full year's points, and I think that will be the first really authentic ranking list. Van Boening at the moment very well placed to be number 1 on it.
Interesting shot there from Shane. Decides to come just over to the left to leave himself a shot. Cue ball's got to come twice across. This is dangerous. The 8 ball's big. The 8 ball is big. Yep, it was always going to be dangerous, Shane. Needs a little look. It's not bad, is it? That's not bad at all. Tyler's got work to do here.
This is the same story again, isn't it? Every time he comes to the table, there's nothing being handed to him here. He's had pots, been testers from distance. Not had the rolls at times when it might have changed things in his favour. He's played in 3 Mosconi Cups before, and you might say that brief period of dominance, if we want to call it that, for the Americans when they won back-to-back after losing 8 in a row, was started by him on his debut at Alexandra Palace in 2018. USA were 2-0 down. It was Styer who got the first point on the board by beating Niels Fine. They went on to win and won again the next year.
Well, he was a mile off that. He tried to cut it in the side, and he's missed it by a long way.
Saw Tyler Styer earlier, just when the match was about to start, and he was psyching himself up, getting himself ready. And that's the really frustrating thing, that he would have been so determined to come out here and show the world what he can do against the world champion. And you have to be fair to him, he's not really had the chance to display that. Hasn't helped himself at times.
Also possesses a lot of cue power, does Shane. He gets that cue ball dancing.
Well, he's doing the quick step at the moment, because it really hasn't taken Shane van Boening very long at all to get into this position. 2/3 of the way to victory at 6-0. Abdullah Al Yusuf is having the greatest year of his career. World Championship semi-finalist back in April, and through to single elimination here. He's just beaten Met Vergara 9 racks to 8. Still no white smoke emerging from table 24. In that other hill finish between Max Lechner and Daniel Guttenberger. Alex Pagulayan, former champion, 8-6 up on Ralph Souquet, as we've said. That one's still going on. And Albin Ocean, who was 2-0 up, is now trailing 3-2 against Si Cha Chen. Tim de Ruyter one in front again against Petri Mäkinen. It's been a real tussle all the way. 7-6 there. Another close one between Oscar Dominguez and Sanjin Pelovanovic. 5 apiece. Chris Reinhold has just closed to 7-5 down against Thomas Kaplan. And Darren Appleton, the man whose career you were attempting to consign to history a few minutes ago, Carl, level at 1 apiece with Roberto Gomez. Victor Zielinski, that's an interesting one. 5-4 behind against Daniel Maciol, who was a quarter-finalist at the UK Open back in May. And Niels Fine, former world champion, 4-time Mosconi MVP, and has taken the opener against Lo Ho Sum, who's had a breakout year in 22. Yeah, and also matches going on there on the loser side, as you noticed. Nick Economopoulos has just won 8-6 against Robert Frost. Christina to catch in the last few moments has made it 6-3 against Ko Ping Han. So she just needs 2 more. Well, Carl, there have been a lot of matches here this week you've looked at and said, yeah, that could be a whitewash. This certainly wasn't one of them.
Well, in your opinion, Michael, yeah.
What, you're saying you thought Styer might get beaten 9-0?
Well, I thought it might have been 9-1, 9-2. I felt like Shane was a big favourite. I mean, listen, I like Tyler Styer. I like his game. I like what he brings to the table. But Shane, to go out there and beat Shane, we've seen the young kid, didn't we? Joey Tate, he had a bit of a mental breakdown. It's easy to do out there. He's definitely found some form of break, hasn't he? Powerful break as well. Lovely to see.
How often do we see this? 3 balls down off the break, and really when it comes to potting multiple balls with the break, I think it's between him and Shaw as to who's the most proficient at that. I think this year Van Boening probably has the edge. And look at that, 50 balls potted to 2. They were both testers that Styer potted. Both in the same rack.
Very skillful and all what Shane's doing to play that break and get the cue ball back and forward off that side rail back into the pack at that pace. It's not easy to do.
But he will just have worked and worked and worked on that. And the break really was the cornerstone of his World Championship success. We'd seen signs of it at the Premier League. Times in that he was breaking on a different planet to everyone else.
Landed a bit straight, hasn't he, into the top pocket. He could draw it back with left English. That's what he's playing. Watch the cue ball move here. Drawing it straight back. Left English will pull it over towards the 8 off the back rail. And he's missed the 7, Michael. I think we can put that down to pushing the boat out. Didn't need to get that close to the 8, did you, Shane? You're 6-0 up. There's no way he'd have played that shot if it was 6-6. Look how he tries to get the cue ball this close to the 8. Didn't need to do that. Just leave yourself any angle on the 8. It'd clear up. Small chance for Tyler Styer to make something happen in this match.
Oh dear. Oh, that is not good at all. Well, not surprised at all to hear the cue banging on the floor. You got to get these if you're to have any chance at all against Shane Van Boening, even if that chance comes at 0-0. But when you're 6-0 down, he's going to find it hard to forgive himself.
The other thing to take into account, sure, Double J's out there somewhere, USA's Mosconi Cup captain. I mean, if he's seen them type of shots from Tyler, I'm sure he's got his little black book out, JJ, making notes. I mean, you don't want that in your team, do you?
No, that's a very good point. And Steyer's hopes of securing a place automatically really taking a hammering here. He'll still be involved in the tournament. He'll still have a chance to get that Mosconi Cup spot. But right now, all he wants to get is 1 rack. Van Boening missed the 7. Styer stepped up to the table, missed it himself. And that was that. Shane Van Boening now leads Tyler Styer 7-0. Says so much about him, doesn't it? That he's sitting there shaking his head even at 7-0 in front. Furious with himself for missing that 7. But nowhere near as angry as that young man is going to be, because it was a crucial moment for him and he's let that opportunity pass. Max Lechner has won. He's beaten Daniel Guttenberger 9-8. So he's into single elimination. Lechner, a quarter-finalist here in Atlantic City last year. Alban Ocean has just pulled one back. He had lost 4 in a row against Si Cha Chen. He's now closed it to 4-3.
Cue ball needs to slow up because it's tracking towards the corner, and it does. Here comes the 2 ball. No rail. After contact, a ball must strike the rail. Sometimes you can do that, what Shane's done, because she's so tentative on the shot. We've all done it.
So as Styer tries to get off the mark here, I can tell you the next match here on table 1 will involve Alexander Kazakis. And this is on the loser's side, who'll be playing either Lucius Yap or Mickey Kraus, and at the moment it looks very much like it's going to be Kraus because he's 7-2 down. And next up over on table 2 will be Billy Thorpe against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz or Yanni Uski. And again, at the moment it looks like being Uski because he's trailing 5-1. Oh, and actually, just as I say that, it's actually been switched. So on 2, it's going to be Carlo Biado, the defending champion, who's been sent to the loser's side. He'll be playing Chen Chia-Hua.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision. Defending champion deserves to be out on the main tables, doesn't he? At the end of the day, that's the honour you rightfully deserve.
Yeah, he was beaten by Jovan Bustamante earlier today. Off to the loser's side in his attempt to be the first player to successfully defend this title since Shane van Boening 8 years ago. I mentioned that on his debut, Tyler Styer delivered the first point for the United States when they were 2-0 down. He actually had the first chance to clinch the cup for them and end that run of 8 defeats in a row. And he was beaten by Jason Shaw. Europe used that to spark a bit of a revival, winning 3 in a row to get back to only 1 behind before Van Boening clinched the cup by beating Alex Kazakis.
Tyler Styer is about to get his first rack of this match on the board. Could have won the previous 2, which would have made it 5-2 with the break.
Well, simply had to make the most of ball in hand, and to be fair, he has. So we're not going to have the whitewash. Tyler Styer, well, that's good to see. He said earlier on, sometimes he can get in his own way by being a bit too intense. Good to see him smiling there, and that'll help him by breaking the tension a bit. He's already broken his duck. It's 7-1. Omar Al-Shaheen is through. Former World Championship runner-up has beaten Radoslav Babika 9-2. Petri Mäkinen on the hill now at 8-7 in front against Tim de Ruyter. Turning it round just towards the finish. Alex Pagulayan, though, still can't get off the hill. Leading Ralph Souquet 8-7, so still looking for that one more. Chris Reinhold making a battle of it against Thomas Kaplan. Still in there, 7-6 behind. So, Styer set a bad tone in the opening rack with the dry break. And this is his first break since then. 7-1 adrift.
You can clearly see the 2-ball, but the 3-ball is landed in no man's land. Work to do. How do you get the cue ball down this bottom right side of the table to shoot the 3 up into the top right corner? That's tricky. That is very tricky. Could play the combo. Could he float it in and then play the red 3 onto the purple 5? That's never going to get there, Tyler. You've played in the Mosconi Cup. You know how the table reacts. You can't get there. He's going to attack this one. This is a very, very thin shot up into the top corner. Cue ball will be moving. He's not hooked, is he? Maybe he's just weighing up if he jumps over the right side. Is there a safety shot? There's no balls anywhere, is there? You can see full ball. Is he going rail first? Is he playing the thin snip? I think he's got to attack this ball. Yeah, he has done. Beautiful shot, straight in the middle of the pocket.
Well, that wasn't easy with everything he's gone through and all the frustration he's had in this match. Still looks more likely than not, obviously, much more likely that he'll end up on the loser's side. He went there in the UK Open after losing his opening match to Miguel Silva of Portugal. There was only a 16-player single elimination stage at the Copper Box, so it was a long trek through the one-loss side. He had 6 wins, a lot of them close. 2 of them went hill-hill. In fact, he almost went out in his very first match. He was nearly there. He just needed one more win to get to loser's qualifying round, but was comfortably beaten by Alexa Pechelge. That's the best he's done in an event of this nature this year. Beaten in the last 64 of the European Open. 1 win away from the 64-player single elimination stage of the World Championship. Did well at the Turning Stone Classic, which is a prestigious event in its own right in New York in January. Final standing of 7th there. It's been a good effort when you look back to that horror miss on the 7-ball in the 7th rack. Since then, he's got himself together well to win 2 in a row. So Van Boning's lead, still substantial, but reduced to 7-2. Petri Mäkinen has won finishing strongly to see off Tim de Ruyter of the Netherlands, 9-7. Mario He has just gone 5-4 up on Roland Garcia. And Albin Ocean is now trailing 6-3 to Si Chia Chen. Thomas Kaplan on the hill now, 8-6 up on Chris Reinhold, two-time US Mosconi Cup player. And it's gone hill-hill between Ralph Souquet and Alex Pagulayan. Souquet still such a battler after all these years. Of course, champion himself in the US Open 20 years ago. Tyler Styer battling at the moment, but still 5 racks behind.
Looks like he can chop the 3 in the side. Depends how thin this ball is. I think he looks okay from here. He's got a better view than anyone, of course, but you may have to play this with a hint of right English. That way it checks up off that top rail. Anywhere in the centre of the table will leave him a shot on the floor. He's actually potted that a little bit too thick and he's hooked himself. That was a poor one. Anywhere in the centre of the table and you're good.
Yeah, and again, he's only got himself to blame here. I know 7-3 is still a big deficit, but it's such an opportunity to get back to that, and there's no way he wouldn't be thinking then, well, maybe I can still do this.
Good effort. He got it going towards the corner. He's very good with a jump cue. So he'll be disappointed with himself there. That was a good chance to try and claw some kind of fight back, and you've got to keep Shane off the hill as well. Looks like he's drawing the rock here. Let's have a look at the cue ball. Oh, he timed that absolute beautiful. Made that look easy. That was a big angle and he got a lot of spin into it, a lot of action. To draw this off the one rail. Here's another look.
Clearly got so many attributes. I would put that high on the list. His ability and his percentage with shots like that. The one prior to that last pot, where the pocket is at least partly blind. Just gets so many of them.
Here comes the cue ball. This is perfect as well. Nice little angle, just roll this ball down the rail and you're on the hill.
Got himself hooked on the 4, and Tyler Styer was his own undoing there. Shane Van Boening stops him making that 3 in a row. And he's on the hill now, 8-2. Now, when Ralph Souquet won his only US Open title 20 years ago, as I was saying, it was Alex Pagulayan who he beat in the final. And they're still going at it in their hill finish today. And Lucius Yap is through. Last year's runner-up has beaten Mickey Kraus 9-2. Chang Yong-lin, who was the opponent for Shane Van Boening when he last won this title 6 years ago, has also made single elimination with a 9-2 win over Nicolas de Leon. And Thomas Kaplan is still looking for one more. Chris Reinhold has taken him to 8-all. Reinhold, one of those players looking for that really big result in a big event to kickstart things in his career. That'll be a good one to pull out. Alban Ocean, let's keep an eye on him. He's 6-3 down against Si Chia Chen. And the man who took his world title off him is here on the hill. And where's this 9 going? That's the way to finish it. Shane Van Boening has dominated from start to finish against Tyler Styer. And what a way to sign off. It's the golden break. And the man who's looking to complete that elusive half-dozen of US Open titles is through to the single elimination stage tomorrow. Let's have another look at how he finished it off. Coming off the side rail and going into the opposite side pocket. Shane Van Boening then beats Tyler Styer by 9 racks to 2. What do you make of these figures, Carl?
Well, talk about the golden break just a second ago. He nearly made one, didn't he, Michael? And that's the very same pocket, so we're seeing something similar there. Missed pots. Tyler Styer, 5. Maybe the safety error in rack 1. But he decided to go for the bank, so there were just a few shots here and there. We called